Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's a somewhat unexpected video. As I was going through my garage, I came across a box of something that is in desperate need of being replaced. I am talking about the CD64 Plus, which is very much your father's Everdrive, or Everdisc. Let's take a look at it. Alright, here's my CD64 unit circa 1998. I actually bought this off of FNet from a guy in the N64 chat room, so that's really taking me back right now. But anyways, what you would do is take a bunch of N64 ROMs, burn them to a CDR, and then place the CDR inside of this drive. From there, there's a menu system that will allow you to select a game off the disk and load it into the N64's memory. Prior to doing that, however, you needed to take an original N64 cart and place it into the front of the device like that. Without this cart in place, none of the games would load. Also, a lot of games, particularly later ones, had copy protection on them and needed to be patched before you could even play them on a device like this. The back of the device has several communication ports for hooking up to a PC. I never did anything with this. For me, the unit was solely about playing games and having access to the Japanese library. So I think the next step for us is to go ahead and hook this all back up and see if it still works. Alright, so everything is all hooked up, so I'm going to go ahead and flip the switch and we'll take a look and see where we're at. Alright, so CD64 Pro menu. You can kind of see on the right hand side there that we've got Doom 64 as the card name, which is the cartridge that's plugged into the front of the unit. So we have the option to go ahead and start that by clicking here, and I'll go ahead and just test that out. There we go, Doom loads right up, so no issues there. Alright, so I'm going to stop here. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and flip the switch and we'll try to load a game off of the CD. Okay, so I'm going to select Load CD64 file. And you can really hear that drive. It does not sound great. So for it, we're going to try it one more time. Alright, here we go. Now we're getting some games showing. You see I got 1 of 41. There are 41 files on the disk. I'm just going to try Blades of Steel here. Okay, we got it in. So I'm going to press A to start. Ooh, it's like a jet engine taking off. And we're good. We've got the Konami logo. Blades of Steel is up, or it was up. So that's not a good sign. Alright, so let's stop it and we'll give it another try. Now you'll notice at the bottom it does say the file in the DRAM is Blades of Steel. So I don't know if it's the game or just a bad load, but we'll go ahead and try to load a different game and see where that gets us. Let's try Blast. And that looks like it's not going to be good either. Go down to CD64 Tools. And let's... CD-ROM speed is set to low. Let's go ahead and change that to high. Okay, well, we got the Konami logo again.
NHL Blades of Steel.
That's a little bit farther than we got the last time.
Got the puck on a string.
Yeah, we got Lindros on the face-off circle. Alright, so we are up and running, but I don't know that this is necessarily how I want to live my life every time I want to play an N64 game that is not, shall we say, readily available to me. So I think we're going to go ahead and place an order with Stone Age Gamer and see if we can upgrade our EverDisc to an EverDrive. Alright, freshly delivered from Stone Age Gamer is the N64 EverDrive. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. This is the deluxe version. We're going to take a look at it and then go ahead and get it configured. Pretty well packed. These guys really do a nice job of taking a product and really packaging it well, and by that I mean not necessarily how this has been packed, but I guess branding the EverDrives and really turning them into a premium product. See, this is really nicely boxed. This is a really nice case for the EverDrive. It really feels like a premium product. And here's the EverDrive itself. Look at that clear blue color. I did pick up an SD card with it. Just seemed really simple. No need to fool around with something that may or may not work. Just add it all together in one package, and then we can configure it and have at it. Also opted for the red screws, so you can customize the cart however you like, but this is a really good product from Stone Age Gamer. And then of course we've got Stone Age Gamer stickers, the Ultra Everdrive 64 sticker. We've got an instruction manual, which is pretty cool. Gives us some instructions on how to go ahead and set this up. It's a list of all the other EverDrives that are offered from Stone Age Gamer, and then even some troubleshooting tips, which is nice. So overall, a very nicely packaged product. This is not the first EverDrive I've picked up from these guys, and they really do a nice job, and highly recommend, if you're in the United States, picking up your flash carts and EverDrives from these guys. Okay, new Ultra Everdrive 64 in hand. I want to note I did have a little bit of difficulty getting this to run out of the box. I took the SD card out and reformatted it, went to Krikzz' website and downloaded the most up-to-date operating system, dumped that over to the card, put it back in, and then it booted up. But I was getting an odd error 61 message when I first tried this out of the box, but thankfully that was easily remedied and we're ready to go. Upon boot, we notice that the EverDrive 64 looks a little different than that of other EverDrives in that it contains a splash screen. And diving into the EverDrive 64 folder, we've got an auto folder that contains patches that can be automatically applied to games upon loading, CPAC for management of the save files on our controller pack, and then a save folder which contains save files for games that would otherwise be saving to cart. Down here we also have a Nintendo emulator, which is interesting. So you can store Nintendo ROMs on the SD card, and when you select them, they'll automatically play. They're controlled with B and A just like you might expect, but also the digital pad or analog stick to move your character. Now the ROMs folder of the EverDrive contains my entire library of N64 games, as you might expect. Loading those games, they play exactly as though the original cart would, so there's really nothing special to show there. However, what's interesting is that auto folder that we looked at in the EverDrive 64 folder. and that contains patches that can remove some of the anti-aliasing features in games, typically the fog effect or the blurring that you might see that N64 is otherwise notorious for. Some games look good with that removed, others not so great, but we'll go ahead and take a look at a handful of games and do a side-by-side comparison, and that's how we'll wrap the video up. To no one's surprise, there's zero comparison between the noisy CD64 of yesteryear and Krikzz' version 3 creation of the N64 Ultra Everdrive. While the CD64 was fantastic for its time, the bulky machine's loudness and inconsistency when loading games will remind you more of the past than actually playing games. If you have the money to spend and you love the N64, it's definitely worth having all of your games in one place with zero load times, easy save management, a built-in NES emulator, and the ability to auto-patch games and see them with different visuals. So that wraps up today's video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. I'd also like to take a quick moment and thank all of you that have subscribed. We finally hit the 100 mark, which is exciting, and I know that that isn't a huge number, but it's really cool for me to see the number of people interested in the same things that I am continue to grow. If you're new today, subscribe and take the retro journey with us. And on a final note, I'll be at the Too Many Games Con in Oaks, PA next weekend. It's a great time last year with numerous panels, vendors, concerts, and a really great free play arcade setup. Feel free to stop and say hi if you see me wandering about. Thank you for watching today, and I'll catch you next time.